Okay, let's...
Too real, Dominic, right?
Too disgusting.
We had this guy on. His name was...
Freeman? Ian Freeman?
Ian Friedman, okay? Yeah. And he was talking about how he runs around. First of all, to me, he's a wacko.
He moved to New Hampshire for this free state thing that bend the rats into this whole libertarian enclave.
And you know what's funny? Like, he's advising everybody who gets a traffic ticket there in New Hampshire, for some reason they don't have to pay fees.
Yeah.
Where in California we have to pay exorbitant fees. But he doesn't realize by being a jerk and doing what he's doing, soon New Hampshire will say, okay, now you got to pay fees.
Yeah.
And what he's doing is, what they're doing is, they follow a meter maid around.
Yeah.
And they walk in front of the meter maid and put money in people's meters.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And they're getting punished, right?
They're getting sued by the city because the meter maids and the meter guys are alleging that they've been bumped.
Yeah.
That they can't sleep at night because they've been harassed so much.
Don't they wear
psychological damage?
Don't they wear those bright Caltrans vests? And they're usually kind of overweight. So
and what's going to happen? They're saying is that if they keep doing this, they're going to have to fire all the meter maids and meter guys. So there won't be anybody doing these jobs.
Yeah.
And I think it was great when Jack said to this guy, because this is why I think I'm going to get Jack to be a Republican someday, so this libertarian stuff. When Jack said, you mean you don't want the police letting people park there? You mean somebody could just park in front of your store and keep your car there for 5 days?
Yeah.
Imagine how you would feel if you had one of those things where people have to pull up and park, and there's 3 cars there for 6 weeks. I mean, this is when the libertarians go a little nuts. He also, when I put together his biome, this guy Ian had a couch in the front by the grass,
right.
Couch. So somebody in the community went by and they reported him because you're not supposed to put couches in your front yard.
Yeah.
And they do that because a lot of people from different cultures will think nothing of bringing their car on the front lawn.
What cultures?
I'm not saying.
Which cultures,
whatever,
Dominic?
We know who they are, Vince.
We don't know. I don't know. Could be any culture. And putting their car up on bricks and fixing the car on. And it really destroys a whole neighborhood.
Yeah, I could see that, because, you want your neighborhood to be beautiful and you want to come home and see, clean streets and wide open things. And
when I had my house in Texas, somebody down the block had some put their cars on the front lawn, and we got really upset because after a while, 1 day, 2 days, it really got like tiring, and then we said, stop it. Marshall Phillips just ran in. How you doing, Marshall?
Play the ABC News music.
No.
This is just a comment on what you're talking about as far as having couches on the front lawn.
Yeah.
I got to tell you something. I come from a culture that had couches on the front lawn. We had couches in the porch, couches on the front lawn.
You were hippies in San Bernardino, Marshall.
Exactly. That's the kind of culture I came from. And when I was growing up in Fontana, Sammy Hagar's hometown as well. When I was growing up in Fontana, there were a lot of people who had cars out on the front lawn, and that's where they put them to work on them.
Well, you lived in actually a lower class neighborhood.
Working class.
No, working class.
People there worked at Kaiser Steel.
I don't want to contradict you.
That was a working class
but
area.
But that is lower working class.
That was a working class area. So anyway, I grew up with couches on the lawn and cars on the lawn as well.
Marshall, if you care about your neighborhood, you don't put cars on the front lawn.
I don't know. You should have seen some of these cars. They look pretty good.
And Marshall, you also have to agree with that. If a neighborhood comes to an agreement, they have the regulations, CCNRs or whatever, not HOAs.
You don't have those in a neighborhood.
Yes,
you do.
In an association,
when I
you
lived
have
in
those.
Texas,
What
if
is
you
this,
didn't
Texas?
mow your lawn, you got a ticket.
Wait, I thought Texas was the land of the free and the home of the brave, where there are no laws.
There are laws.
Rick
you had to mow
I don't quite understand that, because in Texas they don't even have planning commissions. I mean, that's why the sprawl is so bad. That's why the living conditions are so bad.
I got to notice
it was just a prank.
If you don't mow your lawn and it gets too high, you can be fined. And I was fined.
And this was in a neighborhood?
It was from the police.
Dominic,
Texas police state.
I
Okay,
guess.
that answers
I
everything.
agree with you that Marshall must have been in a lower class neighborhood.
That's right.
Because I'm
in
from
your
the
Tony San
I'm
Diego
from the Tony suburbs of San Diego.
Let me say one more thing. You just watch if you're trying to sell your house and the people come to look at your house and they see that next door somebody has their car up on their front lawn, your house decreases in value.
I don't doubt that a bit.
And it's an eyesore. You want to come home to something beautiful.
Wait.
El Camino on the lawn, yeah.
Exactly. Nice El Camino, a rebuilt Mustang. Come on.
My mom had an AMC Spirit. Do you remember that car, Marshall?
Oh,
it was like
God,
a wannabe
yes.
Pinto.
Oh, God.
We had it on the sidewalk.
That shouldn't even be out on the street.
Exactly. We had it on the street. It was parked on the street. And my parents got a notice saying you have to park that in the driveway from now on.
Yeah, you got to be civilized.
It's a police state you're talking about. Total police state.
I just never want to go to Finland now. Hey, coming up on the Armstrong Getty After Show, we'll talk a little bit more about Ian Freeman, who was breaking the law by putting money in parking meters. The First Lady goes a little nuts, and backseat drivers. Talk 650 KSTE.
The Armstrong and Getty After Show, without Armstrong or Getty.
But with Vincent, Michael, and Dominic. So we've been talking about the guest that Armstrong and Getty had on, this Ian Freeman, who's moved to New Hampshire to start this free state thing or whatever. It's just weird. And he moved there. And one of the things that really got me is that, he put his couch on his front lawn, and they said, that's, you can't do that. It's disgusting.
Right.
And he got a ticket. So, of course, he wanted to go to court and fight the ticket. Mm-hmm. So he went to court to fight the ticket, and I wanted Joe and Jack to let me ask him this question, but then I don't know, sometimes if I don't want to hit too much on the libertarian stuff, because Joe and Jack are libertarians.
Was it worth it?
He went to court, and he refused to stand up for the judge.
Because he's against the man, or he doesn't want to obey conventional society?
93 days in jail for contempt of court.
Stand your ass up, dude!
Yeah, that was just dumb.
I mean, Christopher, what does it mean? First of all, he didn't know how the judge was going to rule.
Yeah.
So, but if you're in a court, you're in the United States of America, you've got to give the respect,
Yeah.
Even the president comes in. I don't like this Obama guy, but he comes in, I'm going to stand up and do what you're supposed to do. But the judge comes in, and this yo-yo, this is why I tell you, these libertarians scare me.
You're going to give him the Nazi salute if Obama comes in?
Stand up.
I know, judges famously have no sense of humor. Mm-hmm. They're all business. Mm-hmm. They're there to carry out the law. They take their jobs seriously, and they don't mess around, dude. So when you openly defy him, and his
courtroom,
exactly, his courtroom, obviously you're going to pay for it.
I just wanted to say to Ian Freeman from the one of the Robin Hooders, I want to say, dude, why don't you get a life? Get a girlfriend. Don't hang out with nerds. And if you go to court, you know what? Stand up for the judge. But he spent 93 days in jail. Was it worth it?
And he blogs. He has a blog.
He's got a radio show.
And but it's an internet radio show, Dominic.
Okay.
Which even we had an internet radio show. Okay. So I don't know. I mean,
so when I talked to him about coming on the show, and he said we're syndicated in 93 markets.
Oh, really? Oh, well, then maybe he's on real radio.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
But I did read it. I don't see any of the markets. But I don't know. But God bless him. I wish him all the success in the world. We're very happy here on the After Show.
That means he has 93 downloads of his podcast.
Yeah, one in each city.